Or
Yeah. I feel like I don't get tired. Thankfully, I haven't felt that exhaustion that some people have, but
no,
I do.
that is
I get
awesome.
tired.
Okay, well, I'm going to kick us off. It is Monday, October 25th. How in the world is it almost November? But Rebecca, I asked her to speak to us tonight because she has just in her whole coaching. I'm just going to give you a little backstory on Rebecca. I know she's going to give you her story, but just from what I know of her, and I just have loved her story from the beginning. Have you been coaching for 3 years now?
3 years, like November 6th.
Because it was 3 years ago, right after I went to Las Vegas, my first diamond retreat. She reached out to me and was like, hey, can you let me know about this coaching stuff? And I was like, oh my goodness, this girl would be a rock star coach. She is like, she's very, if you don't know her, she's very competitive. She's very just like personable. And not that you have to be those things, but I just knew that she would just really, really love coaching. And so it's like right away, I was just like, she's like, all right, what do I need to do? And I was like, all right, you need to go Emerald, you need to hit Success Cup. She's like, okay. And basically anytime she's like, okay, what do I need to do now? I'm like, okay, well, just hit Success Club again and let's go diamond now. And she's like, okay. So she's just been one of those coaches that just have come into coaching so coachable. And that's what I admire about you so much, Rebecca, is that you don't beat around the bush. You see something you want, you have a vision, and you go make it happen. And I think that's something that sometimes us as coaches, myself as guilty, that we just kind of wait for things to happen instead of go and make it happen ourselves. So she has recently just hit 2-star diamond this year, which is huge. Jody, I think I saw you on the call. Her and Jody, who I just met in Destin. So fun. They rallied together, and it's a team effort to really, to get to diamond, it's a team effort, but also to get past anything past diamond, it truly is. It takes a whole team. It takes a united front to go after a goal, hold for 6 weeks, and reach it all together, which is a really, really cool feeling. So I wanted Rebecca to just jump on, share a little bit of her background, her story, growing up. She has a super interesting life with living with seven siblings. And yeah, I'm just going to stop talking to myself, and I'm going to let you take it away. So go ahead.
Yay. Well, thanks, Brooke. You're very encouraging. But it is crazy that it's been almost 3 years, and it was the Las Vegas picture. They were all wearing their black dresses. And I was like, what the heck do these people do? And like, how are they making money? But I was very skeptical at first. So I will give just like a little background first on my coaching story and health journey. And then kind of the topic that I'm talking about is mindset shifts to start. So first off, if you don't know me, I'm Rebecca. I live in Charlotte, North Carolina. We've lived here 3 years. So it was actually 2 months after we moved to Charlotte that I became a coach. And I did not become a coach for the fitness aspect. So like Brooke said, I became a coach because I wanted to make money, and not ashamed of that. I was like, I'm a very planner person. So at the time, I was working full time in campus ministry for a Christian ministry called Crew, which I love. I was involved in that in college, and my husband, he became a Christian through that. And so it wasn't that I didn't like my job, but at the time, Gunnar was a teacher, and I knew that one day I wanted a big family because I'm from a big family. And logically, I'm just planning it out of like, okay, let's say I want kids in 3 to 5 years. We are not going to be able to afford on a teacher's salary and a ministry salary to have the dream house I want one day, to like have 5 kids, to be able to have like all the neighbors over and host them and pay for charcuterie boards and all the things that I want to do without having to feel stressed about money. And so I was just started like praying about opportunities. And it was around that time that I was like asking God, like, okay, what could I potentially do to like help provide financially once we do have kids? Because I always wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, but I knew I needed to be able to contribute financially in some way. So that's what drew me to coaching. Was I saw Brooke, I saw that she was able to, supplement her income from teaching and stay home. And so I was just like, okay, I'm skeptical about coaching. I think I asked her, like, is this a pyramid scheme? Like, I asked those questions. I was like, can you explain the difference to me? So, but I was like, okay, if it worked for her and it's worked for all these people, like my family grew up knowing Brooke, like I trusted her. I was like, I trust her. I know she's like authentic, and I know she's not making up these numbers. Like clearly she's making an income. So she's not lying about this income. So I was like, okay, I'm going to sign up as a coach day one, and I'm going to do what she tells me to do so that 3 to 5 years from now, I can be a stay-at-home mom. And now it's awesome because I haven't like fully, supplemented income, but I have been able to now work part-time and we'll be able to stay home when we do have kids. So that's how I got started as a coach. A little bit about fitness background. Like I said, I didn't sign up for the workouts. I have always loved working out. And I honestly didn't think I would see a change in like my body from doing the Beachbody workouts because I was used to going to the gym for like an hour a day, and Charlotte, where we live, has all these boot camps. So like I was going to all these free boot camps during the week that were like very intense. So I was like, oh, these workouts will be good, but like I'm gonna still go to the boot camps because like I'm probably not gonna get, as good of results. But I was definitely wrong. And even from doing Lift 4, like my before and after pictures, like I saw so much change. And a huge part of that was nutrition, because I was that girl who's like, I'm gonna work out and I'm gonna try to eat healthy. But like for me, trying to eat healthy just meant don't eat ice cream every day and cut out carbs. And we all know that doesn't work and it's not sustaining. And you need carbs to actually build muscle and to see results. So that was really cool that I realized like, okay, not only did coaching impact me financially, but like I am in the best place mentally when it comes with nutrition. And I've learned so much from it. And especially with vegetables, I came from a family of 7 kids and we did not eat vegetables growing up. And I can't really blame my parents because I realized now eating healthy is expensive. And so like our vegetables was a bag of frozen peas split 9 ways with spaghetti, and we'd have spaghetti like 4 times a week. So that's like what we ate, was spaghetti with like a bag of frozen peas, or we'd have broccoli and there was melted cheddar cheese on top. Like that's how we ate our broccoli. But I just thought that was normal. So then I started Ultimate Portion Fix. I'm like, holy crap, I have to eat 4 containers of vegetables every single day. Like I've never done that in my life. So yeah, that's a little bit about the fitness journey. Like sometimes you think it's just going to be for the money. And then I was very humbled and was like, wow, this company actually knows what they're talking about. And I could use some of that knowledge. So that's background. I'm going to now shift to the topic. So the topic is mindset shifts to 2-star. And like Brooke said, I hit that this past summer. Jody was a huge help. We linked arms, we did that together. And then Gunnar, my husband, was the other diamond that I built. So it was me, Gunnar, and Jody. So let me go to some of my notes. Okay, so I'm gonna actually start with 2 things that I started from day one, like my mindset that I think allowed me to be successful and allowed me to get to 2-star, because I've been a coach for 3 years. And I think these things allowed me to get to the point where like I kept going in the business. And then I'll talk about some shifts I made in the past year or so mentally that helped me get to 2-star. So first thing that I think has allowed me to be the most like to see success over the 3 years is from day one, when I signed up with Brooke, I decided that I was never going to quit. And just making that decision and telling it to Gunnar and saying like, I am not going to quit, totally shaped the actions I did every single day. Because I wanted to be a learner from Brooke. Like I saw it worked for her. So I'm like, okay, what are you doing? Okay, you're telling me to do the bat every day. Okay, I'm going to do the bat every single day. Like I didn't do it every single day, but like the majority of the time, Monday at least to Friday, weekends usually I would take off, but Monday to Friday, okay, I'm doing the bat. And so I just decided, okay, whether it takes 3 years or it takes 5 years or 10 years, like I know that this is worth it and I know the potential. And so I need to show up every day during those years to actually be able to say that I tried. Because I think I heard a national wake up call, maybe it was 2 years ago, that really stuck out to me when she was saying, like, we go to college for 4 years and you pay 40 grand or whatever it is for your tuition. And if you just didn't go to class and you just wasted that money and that degree, 4 years later, maybe you passed your classes, but like you didn't really get much out of it. Um, and even if you do get a degree, it's like, I've never even used my college degree, which, I'm fine with. But kind of comparing that to coaching, it's like, if I only had to invest $160. And if I decided from day one that I was going to show up every single day, then I could honestly evaluate 4 years later. Okay, I've done this for 4 years. Has it been working for me? What do I need to change? But if you sign up as a coach and instead you tell yourself, like, I'm going to see how this goes. Like, if you're like, you know what, I'll maybe try for a year. And if it goes well, you haven't given yourself the time that this business needs to actually see success. And you're holding yourself back. You might not even realize it, but subconsciously, you're holding yourself back the entire time because you're giving yourself an out. And as an Enneagram 3, if you're an Enneagram 3, I know Dana is, I know some of us are, we don't like to fail. And so it's tempting to tell people, oh, I'm just going to try. Because then if you do fail, it's like, oh, well, like, I didn't really want it that bad. And so I think that has just allowed me to see successes from day one. It was like, nope, not going to quit. One, I wanted to prove everybody wrong who told me that I was stupid. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm definitely not quitting, because then I have to like crawl back to them and be like, oh yeah, I'm not doing it anymore. You guys were right. And so that is one of the biggest pieces of advice I can give you, is to have that mentality that you are not going to quit. Not only that you're not going to quit, but you're actually going to do the actions that are necessary to reach your goals. Otherwise, the days are just going to go by, the years are going to go by, and 3 years later, you're going to look back and you're going to be like, well, I haven't even invested in my business. So no wonder I'm still not diamond yet, because I haven't done anything. So that would be my first piece of advice. Second, I would say the thing that helped me get to 2-star was I started hitting Success Club the very first month I became a coach. And I hit it almost every single month. I think I missed it 2 to 3 times over the past 3 years. And I would say that is going to allow you to eventually hit diamond and eventually hit 2-star by hitting Success Club. Because if you think about it logically, I'm a very logical person. Like, if you want to go diamond, you need 12 coaches. So we all know that the best coaches come from challengers. So if you're only helping one person a month, then if your success rate is 100%, which it's never going to be, of turning customers into challengers, it's going to take you a year to get 12 coaches under you. But realistically, we know that doesn't happen. So that's why it's so important to hit Success Club, because if you're helping 3 people every single month, that's 3 new potential options of people who turn into coaches. And so over time, you'll actually have the team. And so for 2-star, it's like, okay, I needed 12 coaches under me. Gunner needs 12 coaches under me. And then I need one of those coaches needs to be driven enough to want to work the business, which is usually maybe 1 of 10 coaches you sign up actually wants to work the business. And so then I found Jody, but it takes a lot of coaches. And so you're not going to have those coaches if you're not hitting Success Club, because you're not coaching anybody who sees results. So that is my other piece of advice that helped me be successful, was making Success Club a non-negotiable. And if you're here and you're like, I want to hit Success Club, but I'm not doing it, my biggest tip is to make it a non-negotiable. So one way you can know if you're making Success Club a non-negotiable is by listening to the words you're saying to yourself and to your teammates. So for example, I hear coaches say sometimes, I'm going to try to hit Success Club this month. And they use the word try. And that right there, when I hear them say, I'm going to try to hit Success Club, in my mind, I'm like, you're probably not going to hit Success Club because you just said the word try. Whereas if you say like, I'm going to hit Success Club, even though it's October 25th and I'm only at Success Club 2 right now, I'm going to hit Success Club, then the likelihood you're going to hit Success Club is a lot higher because you're not giving up on yourself. Whereas like it's October 25th and you're like, oh, I'm at SC0. It's just not in the cards for me this month. Then you're right. You're not going to hit Success Club because you already gave up. So instead of saying, I'm going to try to hit Success Club this month, shift it and catch yourself and say, I will hit Success Club this month. I will be here 5 years from now. I will read PD for 10 minutes a day. I will listen to the National Wake Up Call every single week and commit to actually doing those things, because otherwise it's just a crutch. You're just kind of crutching along, hobbling, hoping that things happen, but you're not actually putting in the work. So that, I would say, is my biggest tip for hitting Success Club. It's not like a magical thing, but just having the mindset of you're going to hit it and you're going to make it happen. And you have 31 days in the month of October. You have 30 days in November to do that. Okay, so now I'm going to shift and talk about where I honestly did not have a good mindset and how in the past year I shifted that, which allowed me to help hit 2-star. So one of the things that I struggled with for a while, so basically I hit diamond, and then for a very, very long time, I was trying to build gunner to diamond. And I kept being like, oh, by last year's retreat, I'm going to get him to 1-star. And then like, it just felt like I had this goal for so long, but I wasn't giving myself deadlines. I wasn't pushing with a sense of urgency because I was so afraid of not hitting it that I was like, well, I know like I'm doing the actions. So I know eventually it's going to happen. Like, I know if I'm in this business long enough, it will happen, which like, I do think is true, but like I had no urgency behind it that I never would have hit 2-star last summer if I didn't change that. So one thing I heard Brooke say a lot, and things I heard top coaches say a lot in National Wake Up Calls, was they always said, diamond is a decision and 2-star is a decision, and you make it happen. And to be honest, that like would make me so frustrated sometimes. I wouldn't get mad at the person saying it, but I'm like, that's not true. Like, I am doing the vital behaviors every day and it's not happening. And like, I think I would just get frustrated that it wasn't happening, that I would like, even without realizing it, I wasn't pushing at all. So even though I was doing the vital behaviors every day, like I had no excitement behind it. I didn't have energy behind it. It was just like, okay, I'm going to show up. I'm going to check off the boxes. And 3 years from now, I'll probably hit it. And that mindset shift of just choosing to say, okay, no, I'm going to make it happen this year before the diamond treat. Like, I'm actually going to make it happen. Then I had to start think, okay, well then how many coaches do I need? Logically, okay, who's going to be my coach? Who's going to help me get there? Okay, I see Jody has this amount of coaches. Like, it ended up, I had to realize, okay, this is the opportunity to take action. And you're not going to have those opportunities every time in your business. So it's just building off of the momentum off your team. Whereas if I had just been like, okay, I'm going to keep doing my thing, eventually it's going to happen, I would have never have entered 2-star qualifications. Because you'll realize once you go through qualifications, there's a lot of things that need to be set in place for you to do that. And you don't just wake up one day and you're in qualifications. Like, you have to plan and prepare for that and like, and be there. So that was the main mind shift I switched that helped me a lot. Was I realized that what Brooke was saying and what the coaches were saying was right. Like, they're not saying like, oh, you can just decide you want to be 2-star and tomorrow you're going to be 2-star. That's not what they were saying. They're saying like, if you want this, you have to go after it and get it and do the things you need to and have excitement and urgency, or it's never going to happen. Like, it's not going to just magically appear one day. And so one piece of advice, kind of my story and how I pushed for 2-star, is I had Jody and then Gunner, and they were both kind of close with coaches. And so I decided, I texted Jody and I said, Jody, what are your thoughts on entering qualifications next week with me? So that was like, I think we had 5 days or 6 days. And she needed at least, I think she needed 3 or 4 more coaches. Jody, you can correct me if I'm wrong. And Gunnar needed about like 3 coaches also. And she said yes, which was amazing. So my biggest tip is link arms with somebody who's like similar places as you and challenge each other and make it fun and competitive. And I was like, let's make it a race. Let's see who can do it first. And then we got on a Zoom call and we like brainstormed, okay, like who is anybody you think you could potentially ask to do this? And like we just brainstormed together. And that's the urgency I'm talking about is before, if I had just been like, oh, eventually it's going to happen, I never would have gotten on that Zoom call with Jody and been like, all right, we need to brainstorm every single possible option, because I would have been like, oh, there's no need to rush this, no pressure. Like that was my mindset for so long. Oh, it doesn't matter. It's fine. Like I'm content. But then it's like, okay, let's go for it. And then we did that and we entered qualifications together and she hit diamond and I hit 2-star. And I wouldn't have been able to do that if I didn't make that decision that Wednesday to text Jody and say, we're going to do it next week. So yeah, I think that is the main things I wanted to say. Let me see if I had any other notes. But yeah, that was the main mindset shift I would say I switched to hit 2-star was, okay, you have to make it happen and you need to stop being afraid of failing and just say it out loud and go for it and see what happens. So yeah, I don't know if anyone has questions or yeah.
Love it. Yes. And put any questions in the chat for Rebecca or just unmute yourself. I know, Rebecca, I have a question. I would just love to hear like about your groups. I feel like you always have a lot of fun groups and themes and I don't know. How do you run your groups? Where do you run them? Facebook, BOD? Do you change them up? Are they ongoing? I would just love any background kind of about that. Because you're hitting Success Club very consistently and like, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I would say hitting the Success Club part consistently helps with the groups because just having those fresh 3 new people in every month, just like I feel like always lights a fire under some of the old people. I've definitely struggled with challenge groups too, though, you know, with participation stuff, but I run them in BOD groups and I schedule all my posts out, you know, the week before I do a daily post. And I like to do a fun theme. Like right now we're doing Harry Potter boot camp. And one thing that I recently started doing that I shared with some of you, but once a new person signs up with me, like I send them their welcome email, which just basically says like, hey, thanks for choosing me as your coach. Like, here's a PDF where you can fill out some goals. This is the link to the virtual gym. And send back the PDF when you're done. Also, like, I'd love for you to tell me 2 to 3 times you're free in the next week to hop on a 30-minute Zoom call so I can just like show you Beachbody on Demand and pick out a program together. And that, since doing that, I started that probably 6 months ago. That has really helped with engagement in my group because I think sometimes like I didn't realize that people get confused on the BOD groups and they get confused on where Beachbody on Demand is. And so just like going on, sharing my screen and being like, this is where the programs are. Let's pick out a program for you now. This is the nutrition plan. This is how you access BOD groups. This is like what to expect from the BOD group. I want you to log your workout every single day. Like once we've had that face-to-face time for that 30 minutes, especially when it's like a cold, like a person, not a cold person, but like a cold invite or someone you don't know. Like, it's just so good to get to know them a little bit so that then you have that relationship where then they're more excited, I feel like, to be in your BOD group. So that's really helped me with engagement. Something I'm going to try for November actually is I just messaged all of my current challengers, even if they haven't been active in my past group. And I messaged them and basically was like, hey, I want to let you know my November group is about to get started. And I do this every month. So every month before I start a new group, I text all of my challengers, whether they participate or not. And I say, hey, I'm getting ready to start this November group. Like, I really want to elevate the accountability this month. The group will go for 30 days. And so I'm asking that if anyone wants to be on it, that you tell me which of these 3 times works for you to hop on a Zoom call this week. So I think I threw out like Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday morning this week. And we're going to get on a Zoom call with some other girls and we're going to set our goals and like share what success would look like for you this month. just to kind of like, I'm hoping it will kind of light a fire under some of the people who have been MIA for the past month, 2 months. And so I text them all that. And then my goal is we'll get them on a Zoom call. And then this is something I haven't done before, so I'll let you know how it goes. But I told them this month I'm not having a daily check-in post because I just have struggled with the same few people commenting on those posts. Like all the girls log the workouts, which is awesome, but like no one comments on the post. And so I'm like, okay, well, let's just try this month. I'm not going to have a check-in post, but we're going to have the Zoom call to get started. And I'm going to communicate on the Zoom call, like you need to log your workout in there every single day. And if I told them, if I don't see you log it within 2 to 3 days, I'm going to tag you and all of the other girls who didn't log their workout and basically call you out. Because on our Zoom call, you told me that this was your goal. So that's something I'm going to try this month. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I think just those Zoom calls, have some personal face-to-face time, and then do a theme that you enjoy. Otherwise, it's like, I get bored in the bod group. So like, if you're bored, they're probably bored.
Same. I love that. And I feel like, especially that Zoom call, it builds that trust too, not only with their health journey, but like, hey, like I could see myself coaching and being on her team, and, you know, rather
Right.
than just, yeah, makes it more sustainable. Super cool.
Mm-hmm.
I have one more question, 2 more questions if anyone else does it, but what is top personal development recommendation or what you're reading right now or something?
Yeah. Right now I'm reading the 12-week year. Just started that. And I like that. I'm only a few chapters in, but it's just kind of like practical. The chapter I read today was really, really good. It was all about having a personal vision. And I feel like that's something I've struggled with before, is figuring out my why. And the chapter is all about like, you know, it doesn't need to be this fluffy, well-worded vision statement that you never look at again, but like make it personal and make it emotional, and like think about what is going to motivate you to actually do the behaviors every day. So I really like that right now. I would say my all-time favorite personal development I've probably ever read is F Leadership. That was just very freeing to realize like you don't have to treat every coach the same. Like some coaches are just going to want to be there for the community, and that's fine. And you don't need to give as much time to them as you do to the people who actually want it and show up and do the thing. So yeah, that was really helpful just for like how do you navigate serving your coaches in a way that is helpful for you to spend your time well, but also what they are needing in that time.
It is a really good book. I got a lot out of that book.
Yes. So good.
Okay. And last question for me, if no one else is what is your puke goal right now?
Oh my. Okay, I'm gonna use my mindset advice I just gave all of you. I will hit 5-star in 2022. That is mine. I will hit it.
5-star elite, right?
5-star elite. Yes, 5-star elite. Yeah. Sometimes I honestly don't know what's the difference between the two. Is it leadership points?
Yes, it's the point.
5-star. Yeah, I will hit 5-star elite in 2022.
Yes,
yep.
You will.
Yeah.
And honestly, like I think we all, especially all of us on this call, I look at Dana, and when we push for big goals, it's scary. It's like weird for me to hear you say that. I'm like, yeah, you're going to, but like when you have to say it, it's like,
right.
That's really scary. But that is awesome. And such a gold call. Everything you shared. Yeah. Was fire. So thank you so much, Rebecca, for pouring into us tonight. I know it's late there and you have a little growing girl in your belly. So we are cheering you on. 5-star elite is definitely going to happen.
Yes.
When after you're going to have a postpartum journey, it's going to be rocking, and I'm so excited for you. So, all right, you guys, thanks, Rebecca. And I'll post this in the team page tomorrow. So
sweet. Thanks, guys.
Bye.